I love college.
Do I really have to graduate, or can I just stay here for the rest of my life?
Keno Radio. Keno Radio. Keno Radio.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back tuned in listening to Keno Radio. After a couple week hiatus to get myself situated back into school, into the grind of things, we're back. Fall semester's over, spring semester's here. We are completely all in, head first into 2015. So this brings us to, what's today's date? We got January 22nd, 2015, which means we have All-Star Weekend for the NHL. So, of course, as I've been promising for a lot of weeks now, I got Petey Kelly with me and Mike DeFazio with me. So, boys, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Great, yeah. A little more enthusiasm, boys. So, be happy to be here. Everyone's happy to be here. So, who do we got thundering up those stairs? Jeez, Barrera. All right, so, anyways.
Big Barrera.
Anyways,
you got that at work? Nice.
All right, we're going to cut that out, Barrera. Thanks. All right, so we're talking bees. Like I always say, we brought them on. We're talking bees. We're talking shell. We are talking All-Star break. Anything goes. So, boys, our beloved bees, after I almost wrote them off and declared myself, last time we talked, I declared myself as a Stars fan.
Where did our last podcast go?
So here's the other thing. Yeah, I was still a rookie with the audio and everything, so it went to the shits. The audio sounded terrible. Hopefully this sounds a little better. I got the mic going. But
to catch you up, Wakey gave up on the bees, and now they're back in it. So
exactly. So
all you missed.
What you missed is I hopped off the bandwagon. I'm back on. So at the All-Star break, the bees are fourth in their division. They are 25, 16, and 7. That adds up to 32 plus 6 is 8. 48 games, a little over the halfway mark. Boys, how do you feel going into the All-Star break thus far with the bee season?
Not a bad recovery and in good shape going into the All-Star break. They overcame a lot of those injuries, got a lot of those guys back, and kind of we're back to normal right at the end there.
Yeah, as I said in the last show, which got deleted.
It didn't get deleted, it just never got aired.
I believe when we first went over this, it was Chara's first game back, and you had written him off. We
Yeah.
said, we'll see. Chara seems healthy again, and more importantly, David Krejci's back, which I think we realized more importantly, or how important he is in our lineup. Now, instead of Louis playing second line center, he's, or Soderberg, he plays on the third line. And that third line, who's 2 and 3 in scoring right now for the Bruins? Maybe 2 Swedes.
That's why I bring you guys on. Is it the 2 bums? Hey, I like Soderberg. I've never said I don't like Soderberg. I just hate Louis. I think he's an absolute bum, and as everyone knows, that's how I feel about him. And there's just the thing with me is he came in with absolutely no way up, like no way upside. He had no chance with me. I wrote him off as soon as we got him because I am a Sagan lover. I thought he was awesome. Loved his personality. Loved his bad boy era around him, going around, just everything like that. I loved it. The bad boy of the Bruins. I ate it up. It was great. He's my type of player. Offensive guy, plays no defense. It was great. But however, that's not how the bees function. So I understand the trade, but like I said, Louis he had no business being a Bruin in my opinion. But at least he's producing himself. He's making it harder for me to hate him. I'll give him that. So who's number 1 on the team in scoring? Is it Marshy?
Patty.
Is it Patty?
Trees, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he's our all-star, right? So we'll get into that. So my analysis for about 48 games in, they started off typical bees. They start off pretty strong, but they kind of always stutter out of the gates. And then they just went on this god-awful, garbage hockey streak. That's when I was about to jump ship. I call them the garbage team. They're awful.
Jump ship.
They did. I mean, if I saw another...
What hat are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing my Stars hat right now. I see if I got the headphones on so you can't see, but I got the Stars hat on because Stars are still my second squad right now. I love Sagan. I love Ben. I love everything they do down there in Dallas. But like I was saying, if I saw another 2-1 shootout loss, I was gonna throw up. It was the most boring stretch of hockey.
Last night?
I fell asleep last night, so I didn't see it. But like, it was just the most boring stretch of hockey I've ever seen in my entire life. So finally, I guess they got the guys back. They started getting it going, and they went on a 5-game win streak, which finally gave me some hope and some reason to actually believe that, wow, they might be a contender again. Now, what seed are they in the whole conference? They're in the playoffs.
Right.
They're still at 8.
Second wild card.
So they still have the second wild card. Who's in front of them? They still have Florida in front of them?
Capitals
No.
are tied with 57, but Capitals have games in hand. Florida's 7 points behind.
Oh, so we did jump them. So we jumped them.
We got some space.
We got some space. All right, and Florida's at 9.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we got some room to work with, so that's good. So we definitely made up ground. Like I said, 5-game winning streak. We've won the last 6 out of 8 going to the All-Star game. That's great momentum. With a much-needed rest right now, about a week or so off, give or take, they're going to rest some guys. So, I mean, who has been your Bees guy so far this season who has just stood out to you, who's been the team MVP? Not necessarily the best player on the ice, but just the team MVP. Without him, whether it could be when he was injured, when he wasn't injured, without him, this guy is a must for the Bees if they want to contend for the Cup.
My vote right now would be Soderberg. Hands down. I think what he's done from last year, the year before when he came to the team, he was a big, slow Swede. People kind of wrote
Couldn't
him off.
skate, heel skater.
They moved him to center.
Yeah.
Put him at Louis, and they've obviously found something. The 2 and 3.
Well, the two Swedes.
Yeah.
Those Europeans, they have an odd connection with each other. Am I right? They, for some reason, if any of you guys want to hop in and give some insight, feel free. We're talking All-Star Game. We're talking Bees. So the Swedes, the Europeans, for some reason, mostly the Russians, they have this bond together where they have like eyes all over. They know where each other are at all times. So I think that's definitely the right move for Claude to throw the two Swedes on the line. I think they've been dying to play with each other, and the Europeans have so much pride for their country where I think they want to team up and make their country proud, type of thing, you know. So I agree. I think Soderberg's really coming out of his shell, and he's a good playoff guy. He's one of the rare Europeans that I like in the playoffs. He comes out, him and Krejci. I'll give props on Krejci. But so Petey, who's your MVP so far?
I just want to add on to that the matching of the countries. I think if you've ever seen Behind the B, there's Soderberg and Louis. It goes beyond that, and the relationship with their wives and going out to dinner and stuff like that. And then obviously the Krejci and Pasternak connection.
Yes, we'll get into him, my boy.
But
he's right up your alley.
But I'm sticking with the player of the first half for me was Dougie Hamilton.
Oh, speaking of which, I got to teach me how to Dougie shirt. I'm glad you brought it up because Dougie is the only reason this team is afloat. Does that make sense?
I mean, Bergeron goes under the radar, always leading
yeah.
the way, but Dougie with the Char injury, and he's still
stepped up
and
huge.
still-
Yeah, he's an offensively gifted. He's not quite the Erik Karlsson, but he's definitely an offensive gifted. He can rip the puck, absolutely rip the biscuit, deadly accurate, and he plays big minutes now, especially when Char was out. He's playing 25 to 30 minutes a game. He's out there. He's playing with the big boys. Still a young guy. What is he, 21 years old, something like that?
That first fight last night.
Yeah, exactly. He's maturing. We're seeing him mature. So I hope they can hold on to him. And like I've always said, his biggest thing is he's a leader. Every team he's been on, he's been a captain on. He's rocked the C or the A, whether it's in juniors, whether it's in the World Junior Tournament, anything like that. He's always been a captain. So Dougie is my favorite player on the team. He is my MVP. He's going to be my season MVP regardless. But I guess my guy that the Bees, I can't say he's the MVP, but I will move into David Pastrnak. I mean, I think, came in and kind of added a spark, kind of sparked the Bees with that offensive presence that they haven't had since a guy like Sagan left. I mean, he's a guy, he gets like 5, 6, 7 shots on net a game. He's not afraid to rip the puck, and he's just an absolutely gifted European goal scorer. So my question to you guys is how long until he gets 30 goals and we trade him away? Because that's what it seems the Bees do. I mean, we get anyone, we get Kessler, we get Sagan, we get anyone gifted at the goal-scoring offensive zone, and we just ship him away. So I'm praying. Shirelli, if you hear me, if Claude, if you hear me, please don't trade Pasta. He's a great player. He can play defensively, too. He's very young. There's a lot to mold in him.
I think you're going to get the exact opposite of what you want, and Shirelli's going to prove you wrong. I think Pasternak's going to be here to stay, and I think he's going to be
a good player?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's things to his game that he improved on since coming here, and that's the only reason they kept him up. He showed that he was willing to work on the wall and learn the defensive schemes and prove that it can translate into the NHL level. And I just think he's a little different. He's a bit of a different personality than Sagan and Kessler were, not so self-centered.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Be here, willing to learn, willing to do what he has to do, and not feel like he's everything's handed to him.
And I think the thing that could help with that is that he is a European, so I don't think he can really go out there and be this big ego guy in the locker room because he just can't speak the language. I mean, like our friend Denny's over here said, it sounds like he's got peanut butter in his mouth when he's talking in the interviews. So I think so too. I mean, and he's got a guy like Krejci, like you said, Petey, who we can look up to. And Krejci's the ultimate team guy, very humble, not a me guy. So I think with the combination of that, Pasta has a great upside, and I really hope that they keep him in for the long haul because I think he can do some serious damage and can be an all-star in a couple of years.
Sure.
So, I mean, anything else on the Bees thus far? I mean, we're about halfway through the season. You got any?
I had a little scare. I thought my boy Lucic was going to get traded.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to get traded, although the threat was there. I think they did that to light a fire under his ass.
I think they just said Edmonton, and he started to play.
Since then, he's turned his play around, and their whole team is turning around. I think you're starting to see the Bruins' identity come back a little bit.
There was one, I forget the game it was. It was in Carolina, I think. It was a one-game roadie to Carolina, and Chiarelli and Neely attended, and I think that was their last loss of that skid. And I think that really proved to them that, like, hey, we got to start, like, playing Bruins hockey. We got to get back to the basics. Enough is enough. We need to wake the hell up, or they're going to get traded. A guy like Luch.
Game before.
Was the game before?
No. Krug and Marchand fought the next day at practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of straightened out after that as well.
Exactly. So
there's audio at the end of that game from Jack Edwards saying how they were wobbling, and it was about as far as they could go without breaking. So.
Yeah, exactly. They it's just like they totally strayed away from their game. They totally strayed away from the Bruins. They weren't playing Bruins hockey in the least bit. So I think they finally got that back. Like we said, the 5-game win streak. Pasta's been scoring. He's lit a spark, and Luch has started to play excellent. He's playing rough and tough, getting in some fights. McQuaid's been getting in fights. They're playing the big bad Bruin hockey that we all know and love.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Kelly's playing. Exactly. People are stepping up, and they're starting to realize, hey, the clock's running out. We're in the 8th seed right now in the East. There's no more time to mess around. We have to. This is crunch time, and this is what we have to do to advance. So, going into the All-Star break, like I said, a little bit scared for me at the beginning. They've started to smooth out my anxiety. I'm feeling a lot better. Going into the All-Star break, we only have how many All-Stars? One, right?
Yeah.
We got Patrice, obviously. No, do you think Patrice he hasn't had the real cover jinx this year, right? For the NHL, he got the Chell cover, Chell 15. Yeah. He's had a fine year. Slow start, but he ended up making the All-Star game. Now, I don't know. Do we have his numbers? Do we have his exact numbers? How many points does he have? He's leading the team, right?
32.
All right, I didn't know.
Soderberg 31.
11 and 21.
11 and 21. So he is leading the team. I didn't know if it was just a pity vote where they need everyone on the team, so they picked like Bergeron, the most known guy.
I think he was up there in votes.
Yeah, he was.
He's a very likable guy.
All year.
Who were the Bruins All-Stars the last time they had an All-Star game? I'll give you a guess.
It was in 2012 in Ottawa. Krejci, Chara, and
there's 3 of them.
Sagan.
Timmy Thomas, Chara, and Sagan.
Wow, dude.
Krejci turn of the tides.
Wow, seriously. So Chara's held on. I know, right? Wow, Timmy Thomas, blast from the past.
Sagan. I think he was the second to last pick, right?
Yeah, I think he was. Him and
Kessel
I think
was
Couture.
after.
I think that was the first year. I think Couture, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Logan Couture was the last guy, and Sagan was out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. How about all right? So now we'll transition to the All-Star game. Do you guys like the new format that the Pro Bowl just adopted of the old school, the schoolyard draft?
Was the Pro Bowl first?
No, we were first. The Pro Bowl started last year, and we started 2011, I think.
All right. I love it.
I love
it. Fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. It adds to it. It's a great way for the fans to like kind of interact. You vote your players in, and it is very. It's like cool. It's back to the basics type of thing, you know. So I enjoy it. However, I wouldn't mind after a couple of years this gets old. We go back to the old school North America versus the world. Those are the days when the old Canadians, North American boys would just beat up on the Europeans. Nah, they wouldn't actually.
Did you do that? Was it Canada versus the world, or how did they do that?
I think it was North America. Yeah, it was Canada and the Americans versus the rest of the world. But speaking of the world, who would be first liner is that what's his name? The Latvian, the pride of Latvia on Buffalo. Who got what's his name? Gergensen. See, I don't even know his name, and he ended up with the most All-Star votes, right? Which is a riot.
Along with everybody else in the Blackhawks.
Yeah, right, dude. The entire Blackhawks team finished great. So, I mean. I don't know how that guy gets. Well, I do know because the entire country of Latvia was getting to him. But that's where it brings in the question of the voting system. Is it kind of flawed? Because do you want the fans' perspective, but do you want the best players? Like, is he an all-star in the NHL?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So so this is where it gets kind of flawed. I mean, granted, this won't happen very often because there's not that many people in the league from one country where they're going to literally just
see it
vote
time
him.
to time, though. I mean, does
Yeah.
Crawford really deserve to be there with all the goalies?
Yeah,
just 'cause
right?
He's on a good team.
Exactly.
I think it should be maybe half fan vote, half GM and coaches vote.
Okay, I like that, yeah. I think the coaches and
Baseball
GMs should
does that?
definitely. Is that what they
I
do?
want to say they do.
They should definitely have a say. Because, I mean, you get the fans who it's all about entertainment, so that's most important. But the GMs and the coaches have. I would even like to see the players vote, too. Because they have the best knowledge of who the best players in the game are. I mean, I think the players would have the best idea because they play against them every day.
Who's
you know?
hardest to play against?
To play against. So I would like to see that. Going into the All-Star game, the draft's tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
The draft is Friday. We got skills competition on Saturday and the All-Star game on Sunday. Matched up against the Pro Bowl. I want to see how the ratings do on that one. I think
Are they same time?
I don't think they're same time. I know Pro Bowl's on
They
at
always just
8.
go back to back.
Yeah.
Like 4 and 8, yeah.
So
Who's your MVP pick?
for the rest of the season
No,
or the All-Star game?
The
one?
All-Star game. Even though that's always a crapshoot.
Yeah,
It
that's
is a crapshoot.
that's all.
I would obviously
Heatley?
go Danny Heatley with this 5-goal, 4-goal performance, but I don't even know. I probably should have looked at the rosters. I mean, honestly, he's my boy, but I think Sagan's got a legitimate chance. I mean, he's up there in the leading scorer, and I think there's no more perfect game for Sagan than an All-Star game. No checking, no defense, just get to rip the puck. So I could see him getting it. How about you boys?
I also think it's gonna depend on a few factors like who's playing with who and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't know. I'll have to pull up a roster because I like to pick an underdog or a sneaker.
All right,
pick.
yeah, I think we got the
Got the
roster, right
roster,
here.
right?
Let's pull her on up. The 2015 NHL All-Star Game.
Speaking of surprises, how about Jacob Voracek?
Yeah, right. Could you imagine if our boy Zemgus Girgajusins, sorry, came out as the MVP? That's what I would want to see. So, quick look. Ooh,
I got my vote just because he's my boy, but keep scrolling.
let's hear it. All right.
I'm looking at Tarasenko. I like.
Yeah.
He's
I like
also
that.
a player like Sagan.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be
Tavares
defenseman.
wouldn't be a bad.
I mean, Stammer's always out there. You can't go wrong with Stammer. He has the ability to score 17 goals if he wants to.
A lot of number 91s.
Yeah,
Tavares,
dude, that's the new
Stamkos,
thing, yeah.
Tarasenko,
Sagan.
And you love seeing. You see it in art. We're playing Clocky, and you see a number 91, and you just gotta say, what's the confidence level to wear that? That's a pretty. You
Yeah.
see it up there.
I mean, I could easily wear it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe only you.
Voracek 93.
Yo, how about Voracek leading up there in the league in points, but the Flyers being awful?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was a surprise to me. Giroux's in there, Bergie.
My MVP pick's going to Getzlaf. I love
Getzlaf,
this game. I don't know.
he's
I
your
love,
boy.
Yeah.
I like Getzlaf for one reason only. Hairline. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great to see a young man
Better
with
than yours,
poor
though.
hair. Yeah, I'm on the Ryan Getzlaf hair plan, so I know what I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look like Getzlaf in a few years, so I'm cool with that. Rick Nash. I think he has a big potential to be an MVP. I mean, he's kind of sneaking under the radar to me as an MVP candidate, leading scorer type guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's blowing it up for the Rangers. Rangers are kind of like the Bees. They stumbled for a little bit, but now they've won 14 out of their last 16 or something. So they're grinding away. They're playing great.
There's a lot of surprises this year. LA Kings outside of the playoff picture behind the Calgary Flames right
Yeah,
now.
right. Well, what's his face? Johnny Gaudreau is kind of. I think he's gonna get Rookie of the Year. He's had an unbelievable year so far. He's in the skills competition for the breakaway challenge.
And then they have a defenseman, Giordano, who's leading all the defensemen in the NHL in points.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite? What do you guys like better? You like the skills comp, or you like the All-Star game? I'm a big skills comp guy. I love it, dude. I love the breakaways, the 3-on-0s. All that. Know what I don't like? I hate the creative breakaway thing where they throw on the costumes and stuff. That's just stupid. Get that out of there. It's like the goalies don't even try. It's literally the dumbest thing in the world. But when they legit do a shootout challenge, it's great to see.
Yeah.
Fastest skaters always great because they fly. So I'm a big skills guy. But All-Star Game's also great. I mean,
Yeah, I like the game better personally.
The game?
I think they get to show off their skills as a complete package instead of
yeah.
Chara just ripping 100-mile
Exactly.
slap shots, or Weber, or seeing how fast Sagan can skate around the rink.
Exactly.
I like to see them play with people with their caliber, their talent, and see what they can do.
That is, yeah, it is
no
cool.
systems. Just
Exactly. It is
barely
cool when you
got.
get just like 3 studs on the line who can just like, it's like bing, bang, bing, bang, 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 and it's just insane to watch. Also love when the goalies wear the cameras in the headsets and talk while getting interviewed. I love that. I think that's the best. I remember Chris Osgood did that a couple years ago, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, Marty Brodeur, I remember one of the first games I saw, he did that.
Yeah, and then they're talking, and then they're just like, real quick, gotta save his puck, and then they say it, and they get back into it. It's great. Ryan Miller did that a couple years ago too. But Petey, how about you? What are you a fan of? You like the game? You like the skills?
I'm a fan of the I love the skills competition shootout. And a fast skater to me is a good one too. The hardest shot, it has gotten a little watered down with the just being Chara and Weber, and
Yeah,
kind of
right?
know what to expect.
Is Chara in the game? He's not in it this year
Oh.
though. So there's a new champ this year.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a new champ.
But they also had a circuit type thing last year with the Sedin brothers doing like you had to
The sauce it. I like
sauce
that.
one,
Yeah,
like
that
a
was
close
kinda
one
cool.
near middle one, far one, and I like that type of stuff. And obviously the game's enjoyable too. It's just
Exactly. The biggest joke to me is when they do the 3-on-0s and they don't score.
Yeah.
How do 3 goal-scoring professional hockey players not score on a 3-on-0? It just that blows my
Looks
mind.
like Thursday morning clocky practice.
I know, right? It really does. They overpass it, and that's what it ends up coming down to. But it's a great weekend. It's a great break. I think it's a much needed break for the Bees.
Well deserved.
it's a long
Well
break,
deserved. Yeah. What they have.
It's almost a week.
They
It's
played
6 days, I think.
Yeah, right. They played last night, Wednesday, and I think they play again Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah,
one of
I
those
think I
two.
got a 5-day break.
Yeah, exactly. So it is wonderful. It's a great little break. It's the first one in 2 years too, because we had the lockout in the Olympics. So it has been, or 3 years now, because it was 2012.
Yeah.
It's in Columbus. How do you feel about that? Don't like it. Weird. Just very, very
They have
like.
to bring it.
they
to a
have
market
to.
Like that.
I
The last
agree.
one they had was what, Carolina.
Yeah, like,
Carolina.
they're in
Yeah,
Ottawa,
those were
Carolina.
nice.
Yeah, I get it, but like, it is. I don't know. It's just very. Are they gonna like sell out and like get for like?
Yeah.
They like I don't know.
They're not in the middle of Florida or Arizona.
That
They'll
is true.
sell out.
Yeah, I mean Columbus. I feel like Columbus should be more of a hockey state, but do they struggle in attendance? I'm not very familiar with the Blue Jackets.
They've been
to
on
be
the
completely honest.
uprise.
They have.
Yeah.
So they're finally. I mean, they're doing pretty well. They made the playoffs last year.
Last
right?
year, yeah,
And
that helped.
Are
But
they?
marketing wise, they've done a good job. Past few years, I actually had a guy from the Blue Jackets come to my class and explain to me
Oh,
how
yeah?
they've kind of been adding season tickets, and they've been doing well attendance wise. And part of that's probably part of the success. But last
Yeah.
year was the first time they made the playoffs in a while. So
Did they make the? Are they in the playoffs hunt this year? Are they doing well?
I got it right here.
No, who I like on that team who's got some silky mitts is Johansson. Is it
Yeah.
Johnson or
Yeah,
Johansson? Ryan Johansson.
He's one of the captains.
Yeah,
This is
dude.
on the outside right
He's
now.
got some absolute mitts going. I've seen him in a couple shootout breakaways and just whoo, side, top shelf, top Ched. So it's good to see. Real quick, while we're talking Chell, I brought this up with D on our last sports one. How do you feel about the NHL working to bring a team to Vegas?
Love it.
You
I
do.
love it also,
You
yeah.
do.
Love it.
See, me
Why
and,
not?
Me and Dee were complete opposite. I think that it's just so dumb because there's going to be no true fans. The only people that are going to go are, say I'm going to Vegas for the weekend, and the Bees are in town, I'm going to go to a game and be a Bees fan. Like the Blackhawks are in town. That's the thing. They're going to sell out every game because the casinos are going to buy all the tickets, buy season tickets, and just give them away. There's going to be no true fan base. And Vegas, there's I can't even believe that people live in Vegas. That still blows my mind that there are athletes from Vegas like Bryce Harper.
You don't need a true fan base. The Florida Panthers don't have one, and they don't sell out. At least if you can sell out your arena, then why not? Who actually roots for the Panthers in Florida?
There's no one. I agree. That's where the Floridas need to get the hell out of there. But I feel like there's so many better options than Vegas. Not so many, but there's better options than Vegas. Hit north of the border first. Hit Seattle first. Places like
That's
that.
south of the border.
Canada? Isn't Canada north of the border?
Seattle's in the U.S. of A.
No, I said hit north of the border and hit Seattle.
Oh.
Get up to the Great White North and Seattle, places like that, or bring a team to Wisconsin, somewhere like that, like Milwaukee, something like that. So,
Milwaukee.
I like Las Vegas a lot. I think
I don't know,
it's
man.
an untapped sports market, and
It
they're the
is.
first ones there. They're going to be the first ones to get all the loyal fans, however many there are. But they're not going to have trouble selling tickets.
Yeah, I agree with
They're not
that.
going to have trouble making money, and you never know what you get out of it. And if you can make money, you're going to be successful, and that's at the end of the day, it's a business.
I feel like it's just gonna like be way too much of like an arena football team. Like when I hear like the Las Vegas Gamblers, I'm just gonna think of like arena football and like they're gonna have crazy uniforms. They're gonna be like purple and silver or something like that. Like I don't know. It's very odd to me. But I mean, are they? It's in like it's like going, isn't it? Isn't it like
The interesting thing will be whether they expand or move a team. Because right
They
now
gotta
they're at
move a
30
team, dude.
teams.
They gotta
They're at 30
move one.
teams.
They
So
got-
if they're going to have a team in Vegas, but they either have to move one to keep it at 30, which they'd probably move from the Eastern Conference.
yeah? Because they're
or
too up.
you expand two, which would then present the opportunity to Vegas, and then a place like Seattle, it's going to have to be in the West because
Yeah.
if you're not going to move a team, there's 14 teams in the West, you're going to have to make it to 16. So I'd go Vegas and Seattle.
I think you gotta move a team. I mean, you gotta get Florida out of there. You gotta get Carolina out of there. Carolina's a joke. When the Bees were playing Carolina, there was all Bees fans. Anytime they zoomed in on Claude, the entire backdrop was Bees fans. There was a picture on Instagram. It was Bees were taking on Hurricanes were taking on the fucking Sabres, and it was empty. Like, it was as empty as I've ever seen a professional sporting event. It was embarrassing. I don't know what they were thinking in the first place, bringing a professional hockey team to North Carolina. I mean, come on, it's North. Like that's NASCAR country right there. That's not hockey. It's not hockey. So I think they got to go. I think they could easily take Florida and Carolina out, put them over in the West, and split it up. I don't know if they need to expand to 32 teams. I mean, I don't. Do they have a big enough market?
I think there's a couple more. You got Vegas, Seattle, you got Quebec
Yeah.
City. You could move another team to Toronto. You can already do that.
Yeah. I agree with moving teams, but I'm saying just adding teams. I don't think.
I think you could move Carolina and Florida
I think you could
to
also
say
get.
Quebec City and Toronto, and then you can expand the West because you need to expand the West eventually and
Yeah.
have teams in Seattle and Vegas. I think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, whether it's a 5-year plan or 10-year plan, I think that's what you're going to see happen in the near future, immediate future. I'm going to imagine they'll move a team to Vegas and then expand. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're not working for them. We don't know. We just hypothesize and shout our opinions out. I mean, what do you any other hot topics you guys got on the Chell on sports?
When do
Anything?
the tickets go on sale for the Winter Classic next year?
Oh yes, just got word. Great point. We got Bees Habs Gillette Stadium,
Canada versus U.S.
Canada versus U.S. Love that it's at Gillette, not Fenway.
Yeah.
Fenway, you couldn't see anything. Did you go to either Winter Classic or Frozen Fenway?
No.
Any of those? I went to Frozen Fenway last year versus like Merrimack Providence, and it was terrible. I watched the whole thing on the big screen. I couldn't see any of the game. So glad it's in Gillette. That's gonna sell out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute heartbeat. And they finally are starting to get the Canadian teams, which is great. I mean, they got Toronto 2 years ago. They got Montreal this year. It took them way too long, but I like it. I think this was the right move for the Winter Classic.
Fenway was a good historical point of Boston. I actually got to play on Fenway.
How was that?
That was awesome.
Awesome.
But
yeah.
again, like everyone, no one could really see it. You can't really hear it.
Yeah.
So I think just you had to do Fenway first, but I think Gillette's going to be much bigger draw with bigger
Yeah.
crowd and
the whole tailgate aspect's going to be massive too,
Yeah,
which you
massive
couldn't really do at
tailgate.
Fenway.
Pat's Places will kill it again.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a no-brainer. The Bruins and Habs probably the best rivalry in hockey.
yeah. Oh,
If not
definitely.
one of the top 5 in sports. And
Exactly.
why not do that? I know a lot of the NHL. You want to have 2 U.S. teams, the NBC market, and this and that, but that's the right move.
I 100% agree. We talked about this on the last sports one we did. It was right after the Winter Classic, and it's just gotten so boring. So finally, I mean, maybe this is exciting to us because we're Bees fans, but like this, I think they needed something to spice things up. They needed a rivalry game.
This year, what the hell was Blackhawks and Capitals? What was that?
dude, in Washington, 55-degree Washington D.C., like that was so
They probably
lame.
didn't even sell out.
Exactly. That's what we were saying. We were watching it. It's just like this is a joke of a game. The only good part of that was I forget who. Ackland or whatever his name is, rocking the shades. Just
Yeah.
looked like an absolute dad. That was the best part about it. I love that. But yeah, it's just they needed something to do. They need something different in the Winter Classic. Still waiting for them to bring it to Minnesota. Don't understand how the Wild
I think
haven't
they did
gone.
announce today I saw somewhere that Minnesota and who was the other team?
Colorado. Those two,
Right.
I've been waiting. Those are the two that
Stadium
need it.
Series, which would be sweet.
Yeah, but
Not the Winter Classic, but
they need to not play each other in the Winter Classic. They need their own because those will both be big
I think
cities.
they're each hosted.
Minnesota needs one. They need one. I mean, it's the state of hockey. It's a joke that they haven't got one yet. They would sell out.
It's a joke that they
in
don't
a
have an
heartbeat.
NHL franchise.
Yeah, right. I don't understand that. I don't understand how that doesn't work. I don't understand how Minnesota loses a franchise. Them in Quebec City, that just blows my mind that both of them lost the franchise. That's an argument for a different day, though. So yeah, I mean, we got Winter Classic, we got the Bees second half. So let's hop back to the Bees. Realistically, what is the goal for second half of the season?
Staying in contention. I think they can't drop out and try and get back in. I think that'll be too emotionally draining. I think they gotta stick on the path, pick up where they left off.
Yeah.
Keep rolling. I'm not worried about where they're seated, honestly. I think anything could happen once they get in, but just keep their head above water for now.
Yeah.
I don't think staying in contention is the issue. I think you look below them, you got Florida, you got Columbus, you got the Flyers, who I don't see as a threat. to catch us.
Yeah.
The thing I want to see is that we can beat the damn Montreal Canadiens.
Right?
Because if we can't beat them, we're not going to get out of the first round of the playoffs.
That's true. That's the thing. If we do just stay afloat and stay in the 7th and 8th spot, we're gonna play a Pittsburgh, who's a good team.
No, because you play with.
Or you play. Yeah, I'm still stuck.
We
in
can.
the
We can.
we play
with
Montreal.
Tampa for some reason.
Yeah.
We play great against them, but we ain't going anywhere unless we can show that we can beat the Canadians.
Exactly.
And so until I see that, that's my only goal. I don't think we're gonna have trouble making the playoffs. Maybe I'm being arrogant or too cocky, but
No, I think they'll will their way. I think they'll make it. I don't think they'll be allowed to. I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I think they're gonna gut the team. I mean, I don't know about gut, but they're gonna make some serious changes if they don't make the playoffs because they have basically the same team, a little different, that not only won the cup 4 years ago but went to the cup 2 years ago. I mean, they have a very similar team. They have most of the key components, so they have to make the playoffs. I mean, I think all the players know that, or they're gonna have a wake up call. But approaching the trade deadline. You think they're going to make any moves? Any splash? Any big splash?
I don't know with the whole Pasternak staying. I don't know if they're going to still look for that right wing or what, but I don't know what you think.
I don't know.
Last time we chatted,
10 games ago,
Perron, we were talking Perron was an option, or Oshie or Taylor Hall or someone. He went to Pittsburgh, right? Yeah.
10 to 12 games ago, I would have said we need to make a trade.
Yeah.
I think right now we should make a trade. I don't think we need to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if we can move a guy, as much as I hate to say it, like Chris Kelly to clear some cap room, and maybe get somebody a little younger, a little more talented, grittier.
Yeah.
I don't know how consistent Pasternak will be. I don't know if his game. You watch him out in the West Coast when he played the LA Kings, he was useless.
Yeah.
That's playoff hockey.
Exactly.
So
I don't know how it'll translate.
I don't know if I want to count on him as a first line right wing going into the playoffs.
I mean, an 18-year-old playing half
and
the
you
season.
You can't really pin that on him.
Exactly. But a guy like Chris Kelly, I think, I agree to free up cap space, but he is a seasoned vet who's made some deep playoff runs, who would be very, maybe not as helpful in the regular season, but very useful in the playoffs for just the gray beard that every team needs. So, I mean, I don't think I'm always a huge fan of going out and getting the gray beard, like the Recchi and the guys like that who are trying to make one last shot. I don't think they need it because I think they have enough old guys. I think they got Kelly. I think they got Chara, who are on the back
really
end.
you got though.
But they're on the back end of their career, and they know it's almost now or never. So they only got a couple of years left. So I don't see them. I'm with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to see them. I agree. If they were playing how they were playing, they were definitely making some change. I think Luch was going to be gone.
No.
Just display.
As long as Neely's the president.
That is true because he is Neely Jr. But which is a joke of a comparison. but anyways, I mean, you guys got anything else, Peas? Like I said,
the injuries, I think you just got to be careful. That's going to be one of the deciding factors coming down late in the stretch. But
absolutely.
We see it more importantly now, McQuaid, how much he was kind of gone last year.
Yeah.
We struggled in the playoffs. This year, while he was out, just his physical presence. The game we played the Flyers, Paille gets buried 7 seconds in.
Yeah.
McQuaid goes in, drops the gloves, and from there they set the tone. And
exactly.
That's the old Bruins, and without
the big
McQuaid
bad
there,
beers.
I don't know. He brings a lot to the table. I think he's kind of like a Boychuk, and I think more was pinned on Boychuk and trading him away while McQuaid was out, because I think they're similar in a way in what they bring to the table. And I think when they were both missing, we were like, well, shit.
Yeah, what are we gonna do now?
Now that we got one of them, and Kevin Miller's playing all right, I think we'll be fine in the back end.
I like it. I like this Bees team. Like I said, they're rolling along. That's all I got. My expectations, they'll make the playoffs. Can only hope for another cup, but realistically, I don't know if they're going to get, like you said, I need them to prove themselves against Montreal in the regular season before they have to play them in the playoffs, because right now Montreal's just a better team, and there's no way around that. But I think that wraps it up for Bees and Show. No, like I've said it like 3 times, you guys got any closing thoughts, anything else you want to share with the world about your knowledge?
No, I think we covered most of it.
I think we did too. I think we went all around the country.
We'll leave it open for your next Super Bowl.
Exactly, yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah, so next Super Bowl podcast, or next podcast will be about the Super Bowl, which is next weekend. You guys, while you're here, you got any predictions? Who you guys got?
Pats by 50.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Pats
that
by
one.
50?
I think Pats by 100.
Maybe 45, 50-ish.
I got Pats in a late field goal. It's gonna
Really?
be close. I think it's going to be a low scoring
You think so?
game. I think Brady will pull through in the end. I think he's got it.
I think we're going to tear them apart with beach balls, soccer balls, whatever.
The Lombardi Trophy.
Exactly.
The top of the Lombardi Trophy.
Exactly. Whatever we need, we're going to tear them apart. Brady is not going to be scared to go against Sherman. But that's all I'm going to talk about this, because we will be covering it next week with me, probably Jerry and Barrera. I don't know if you guys are Real World Challenge watchers, but I gotta tap in and just let everyone know that, like my prediction said, Thomas and Haley did go home first, like I predicted. And also the second prediction that we had was CT and DM, as sad as it is, DM's condition did hurt her. It absolutely hurt her, and she had to go home because of sickness, which made CT be disqualified as well because they were partners. So, are you guys got anything?
I mixed it up. I'm thinking Real World Skeletons.
We did that show too. You got anything on skeletons? Tony's screwed. Did you watch this week?
I know.
Hate to ruin it for you, but Tony's screwed. He's got 2 skeletons coming.
I know.
He is in not only a love triangle, but a love square right now. He's got 3 chicks in the house that he is all hooked up with, said I love you too, and whatnot. So Tony is screwed. Keep it posted on on the challenge battle, the X's too. It's shaping up to be a doozy. Jordan and Sarah just became the power couple. They are my couple to win it all. Petey, did you pick someone to win it all?
I don't know that show. I don't know.
He doesn't know. All right, so that's why they're sports guys. They're the Bees guys. So I think that about wraps it up for Keno Radio this week. Thank you for tuning in. Like always, hit us up on Twitter, Keno Radio. At Keno Radio, Facebook.com/Keno Radio, on YouTube, search bar Keno Radio. Boys, it was fun. I hope to see you soon, and I hope the Bees are doing a little better next time, all right? For Captain Fun, Mike DeFazio and Petey Kelly, sayonara.
Made more sense to me. Well, I heard it today and I couldn't help but sing along. 'Cause every time I hear that song